Getting old. Can't say I'm growing. God knows. Getting old, getting a little tired of bullshit. So I came across this guy who posted today how it was really the Romans that Jesus was killed by, or, it wasn't the Jews, it was the Romans. And then there's a technical case to be made for that, the crucifixion, and that, it was Pilate who brought him before the crowds. What do you want me to do with him? Even though Pilate had at first wanted to release him. But Jesus said, I will be handed over to the Gentiles and crucified, but he who hands me over has the greatest sin. So if you want to take your place on technicalities as far as what killed Jesus, who killed Jesus, but if we agree that Jesus died for sin, then whoever had the greatest sin is indeed the one causing the death of Jesus. Now, that in itself is rather silly, because we are all equally guilty of having been lost in sin and trespasses. But it reminds me, this fellow making the case, because it's scurrilous. It's a scurrilous case to make. That there was something less of blood guilt assignable. They said, we have a law. We have a law, said the Pharisees, the religious leaders, about blasphemy. But essentially it was, we have a law, but you occupy us. And we are forbidden from carrying out capital punishment. And so we turn him over to you. Maybe you've been there, maybe you have not. Where you take your stand on knowing God, belonging to God. Take some boast of God. But find yourself in the place where, oh gee, the civil authorities prohibit this exercise. Yet you still make your appeal that you know the law of God. The moment you concede or accede to the authority of the civil government over the thing that you claim you have a relationship with the God of all gods and his law and his commands, and yet you refuse to carry them out in whatever reason or fashion due to fear of the governing authorities, you have forfeited your place. You have forfeited the thing you claim. Knowing I should do this, knowing God even commands this, let's say the punishment for blasphemy, but we are occupied. You have authority over us. That is de facto saying God does not have authority. And so who is in the greater sin? The civil authority that makes no faux confession of having God as their authority. But you, who make the confession, God is my authority. I do this under the authority of God. Oh, but you prohibit my exercise, and so I turn this over to you. Coward, scoundrel, liar, false.